The Bunchgrass Edge of the World. I know I had a copy of it somewhere, but it was easier to actually just get another one on thrift books and try to find it in my basement. So here we go. You also get an unboxing with this video. Okay, I found it here. The country appeared as empty ground. Big sagebrush, rabbit brush, intricate sky, flocks of small birds like packs of cards, thrown up in the air in a faint track, drifting towards the red-walled horizon. Graves were unmarked, fallen house timbers and corrals burned up in old campfires. Nothing much but weather and distance. The distance punctuated once in a while by ranch gates, and to the north, the endless murmur and sun flash of semis rolling along the interstate. In this vague region, the Tooheys ranched. Old Red, 96 years young, his son Aladdin, Aladdin's wife Juanetta, their boy Tyler, object of Aladdin's hopes, the daughters Shan, and the family embarrassment, Adeline. Old Red, born in Lusk in 1902, grew up in an orphan home. A cross-grained boy, wrists knobby and prominent, red hair parted in the middle, and walked off when he was 14 to work in a tie hack camp. The year the First World War ended, he was in Medicine Bow Timber. He quit, headed away from the drought, burning the West, drilled wells. Hi, Lassie. Hi. Prodded cattle in railroad stockyards, pasted up handbills, cobbled a life as though hammering 2x4s. In 1930, he was in New York shoveling the Waldorf Astoria off the side of a barge into the Atlantic Ocean. One salty morning, homesick for land, homesick for hard, dry landscape, he turned west again. He found a wife along the way and soon enough had a few dirty kids to feed. In Depression, Oklahoma, he bombed roosting crows and sold them to restaurants. When crows were scarce, they moved to Wyoming, settled 100 or 2 miles from where he'd started. They leased a ranch in the Red Wall country, log house, straggle of corrals that from a distance resembled dropped sticks. The wind isolated them from the world. To step into that reeling torrent of air was to be forced back. The ranch was adrift on the high plain. There was the idea of running a few sheep, his wife's idea. In 5 years, they built the sheep up into a prime band. The Second World War held wool prices steady. They bought the ranch for back taxes. In August of 1946, a green-shaded lamp from Sears Roebuck arrived. The same day, the wife bore their last child. She named the kid Aladdin. Peace and thermoplastic resin yarns ruined the sheep market, and they went to cattle. The wife, as though disgusted with this bovine veer, complained of nausea as they unloaded the first shipment of scrubby calves. She stayed sick 3 or 4 years, finally quit. Red was a hard driver, and of the 6 children, only Aladdin remained on the dusty ranch, the giant of the litter, stubborn and abusive, bound to have everything on the platter, whether bare bones or beefsteak. Aladdin came back from Vietnam, where he flew C-123s, spraying defoliants. Now he showed a hard disposition, a taste for pressing on to the point of exhaustion, then going dreamy and stuporous for days. He married Juanita Hipsag on a scorching May morning in Colorado, the bride's home state. A tornado funnel hung from a green cloud miles away. Juanita's abundant hair was rolled in an old-fashioned French knot. The wedding guests were her parents and 11 brothers, who threw handfuls of wheat, no rice available. During the ceremony, Juanita's father smoked cigarette after cigarette. That evening at the Toohey Ranch, a few kernels of wheat shot from Aladdin's pants cuffs when he somersaulted off the porch, exuberant and playful before his new wife. The grains fell to the ground and in the course of time sprouted, grew, headed out, and reseeded. The wheat seized more ground each year until it covered a quarter acre, the waving grain ardently protected by Juanita. She said it was her wedding wheat, and if ever cut, the world would end. When he was 26, Aladdin wrenched the say of how things should go from Old Red. Aladdin had been seen in the mud since blue morning digging out a spring. The old man rode up on his one-eyed mare. The sun slung a shovelful of wet dirt. "You ain't got it dug out yet?" the old man asked. "Not too swift, are you? Not too smart? Shovel ain't even sharp, I bet." "How you got a woman to marry you, I don't know. You must have got a shotgun on her, must have hypnotized her. Not that she's much, but probably beats doing it with the livestock, that right?" The mud-daubed son climbed out of the hole, picked up the clods, pelted his father until he galloped off, pursued him to the house, and continued the attack with stones and sticks of firewood, snatched up from the woodpile, hurled the side cutters he always carried in a back pocket, the pencil behind his ear, the round can filled not with tobacco, but with the dark green of homegrown. Red, knot-headed and bleeding, raised one arm in surrender, backed onto the porch. He was 71 then and called out his age as a defense. "I made this ranch and I made you." His spotted hand went to his crotch. Aladdin gathered can, pencil, and side cutters and put the old man's horse away. He went back to the spring, head down, picked up the shovel and dug until his hands went nerveless. Juanita moved Old Red's belongings out of the big upstairs bedroom and into a ground floor room off the kitchen, once a pantry and still smelling of raisins and stale flour. A strip of adhesive tape held the cracked window glass together. "You'll be closer to the bathroom," she said in a voice as smooth as gas through a funnel. Juanita taught her 2 girls to carry pie out on a white plate to their grandfather, kiss him goodnight while Tyler played with the plastic cows and stayed up late. One forenoon, she came in from hanging clothes and found 4-year-old Adeline gripped astraddle over Old Red's lap and squirming to get down. She ripped the child from him, said, "Keep your dirty old hands away from my girls or I'll pour boiling water on it." "What? I wasn't," he said. "Never. I know old men," she said. Adeline screamed. Now she warned the daughters from him, spoke of him in a dark tone. Fine with her to let him sit alone in the straight back chair, let him limp unaided from porch to kitchen to fusty room. The sooner he knocked on the pearly gates, the better, she told Aladdin, who groaned and rolled to his side, fretted by the darkness that kept him from work, a quick-sleeping man who would be up at 3, filling the kettle, opening the red coffee can, impatient to start. "Juanita, what do you want me to do about it?" he said. "Drown him in the stock tank? He will kick off one of these days." "You've been saying that for 5 years. He is taking the scenic route." Time counted out in calving. First grass, branding, rainfall, clouds, roundup. The visit from Amandinger, the cattle buyer. Shipping, early snow, late blizzard. The children grew up. Aladdin got a Piper Cub, swapping it for 2 bulls, a set of truck tires, a saddle, the rusted frame and cylinder of an 1860 Colt 44 he'd found in the root of a cedar. Juanita's sandy hair grayed, and every few months she went into the bathroom and gave it a maroon color treatment. Only Old Red watched the progression of dates on his little feed store calendar. He was older than kerosene now and strong to make his century. Shan, the younger daughter, graduated from high school, moved to Las Vegas. She took a job in the package design department of a manufacturer of religious CDs, quickly grasped the subtleties of images, breaking waves, shafts of sunlight denoting godly favor, while dark clouds with iridescent edges, babies smiling through tears, represented troubles that would soon pass with the help of prayer. Nothing was hopeless, and the money came in on wheels. Adeline was the oldest, distinguished by a physique approaching the size of a 100-gallon propane tank. She finished school a year behind her younger sister, stayed home. She plaited her reddish-pink hair in 2 braids as thick as whip handles. In conversation, a listener would look back and forth between the pillowy, dimpled mouth and crystal crack blue eyes and think it was a pity she was so big. The first year at home, she wore gaily colored XXL shirts and helped out around the house, but her legs were always cold, and she suffered from what Juanita called menstrual problems. A sudden flow that sent her running for the bathroom. After bare-legged wading through the snow, she gave up drafty skirts and housework, changed to ranch chores with Aladdin. Now she wore manure-caked roper boots, big jeans, and T-shirts that hung to her thighs. "Yes, keep her out of the house," said Juanita. "What she don't break, she loses, and what she don't lose, she breaks. Her cooking would kill a pig." "I hate cooking," said Adeline. "I'll help Dad." It was a fallback position. She wanted to be away, wearing red sandals with cork soles, sitting in the passenger seat of a pearl-colored late-model pickup, drinking from a bottle shaped like a hula girl. When would someone come for her? She was not audacious, not like her younger sister. She knew her appalling self, and there was no way to evade it. Aladdin saw she was easy with the stock, where the boy Tyler whooped and whistled and rode like a messenger reporting a massacre. Had my way, every hand would be a woman. A woman got a nice disposition with animals. He intended the remark to sting. And we will leave it there for now. Thanks for watching.